Christmas money for clothes from Big Daddy. In a private secondary school somewhere in Africa, the school bell rang, signaling the end of the lesson. Amarachi sat quietly at the corner of senior secondary school 3 classroom, staring at her worn-out sandals. The soles were almost peeling, and the straps looked like they would snap any day. Around her, the other girls chattered excitedly about their plans for Christmas. "Have you seen my new dress for Christmas?" Chisom asked loudly, holding up her phone to show pictures to the group of girls gathered around her. Her voice was filled with pride. "My mom bought it from Lagos, with the latest style. Even my shoes are Italian." The girls gasped and leaned closer to see the pictures. "Ah, Chisom, you are so lucky," Nkechi said, shaking her head in amazement. "Your parents must be really rich. Look at that shoe." "Eh? Original leather." "Not just leather, oh," Chisom said, flipping her hair and smirking. "It's designer. When I step out on Christmas Day, people will think I'm a celebrity." The girls laughed and clapped their hands, their voices filled with excitement. Amarachi tried to smile, but her heart felt heavy. She looked down at her school uniform, patched in 2 places, and thought about her mother's warning. "We don't have much, but we have enough to survive." "Amarachi, why are you so quiet?" Chisom suddenly asked, turning to her. "Or are you also buying designer clothes this Christmas?" The group burst into laughter, and Amarachi's face turned red. She forced a smile and said, "No, I'm still thinking about what to wear." "Thinking?" Nkechi teased, rolling her eyes. "Better hurry up before Christmas comes and passes you by." The bell rang again, signaling the start of lunch break. The girls picked up their bags and walked out, still talking about their plans. Amarachi stayed behind, pretending to arrange her books. As the room emptied, she let out a sigh. "Why is life so unfair?" she thought to herself. "Why does Chisom have everything while I have nothing?" Amarachi leaned back in her chair, imagining herself in Chisom's shoes. She pictured wearing expensive dresses, walking down the street with everyone admiring her. For a moment, she smiled. But then reality hit her. She was just Amarachi, the girl with old clothes and no money for fancy Christmas gifts. Her thoughts were interrupted when Chisom poked her head back into the classroom. "Amarachi, are you coming?" "Yes, I'm coming," Amarachi said quickly, grabbing her bag and following her out. As they walked towards the school gate, Amarachi couldn't help but feel a growing desire in her heart. She wanted to be like Chisom, to have what she had, to finally feel special. Little did she know this desire would lead her down a dangerous path. The sun was setting, casting a golden glow over the streets of Owerri. Amarachi and Chisom walked home together after school, their bags swinging by their sides. Children played football on the dusty roadside, their laughter echoing in the air. But Amarachi wasn't paying attention. Her mind was still filled with thoughts of Chisom's fancy Christmas plans. "Chisom," Amarachi finally said, breaking the silence, "how do you always have such nice things? Your clothes, your shoes, even your phone, they're all expensive." Chisom glanced at her and smiled. "It's my uncle in Lagos," she said proudly. "Every Christmas, he gives me money, clothes, and perfumes. My parents don't even bother buying me anything because my uncle takes care of everything." "Your uncle?" Amarachi's eyes widened. "He must be very rich." "Very rich, oh," Chisom said with a nod. "He has a mansion in Lagos, big gates, security guards, housemaids, everything you can imagine. He even has 4 cars. Last year, he gave me 50,000 naira for Christmas shopping." 50,000 naira. Amarachi almost tripped over her own fate. She couldn't even remember the last time she saw a 1,000 naira note, let alone 50,000. Chisom laughed at her reaction. "It's small money for my uncle, oh. He's a chief, you know, big man." Amarachi felt a strange mix of jealousy and admiration. "Chisom, do you think I can meet him? Maybe he will give me something too." Chisom stopped walking and looked at her. "Meet him?" She chuckled. "Amarachi, do you know what it means to go to Lagos? The place is not for everyone. It's big, and if you are not sharp, you will get lost." "I won't get lost though," Amarachi said quickly. "Please, Chisom, I just want to go with you. Just this once. I promise I won't be any trouble. Just this once. I promise I won't be any trouble." Chisom raised an eyebrow, pretending to think about it. I don't know. My uncle doesn't really like strangers." "Please," Amarachi begged, her voice almost a whisper. "You are my only friend. I just want to have a nice Christmas for once. Just this one time." Chisom sighed dramatically, then smiled. "Fine, but you have to keep it a secret. Don't tell anyone, especially your parents. If they find out, they'll ruin everything. Amarachi nodded eagerly. I promise I won't tell anyone. Good, Chisom said, flipping her hair. We are leaving early Friday morning. Tell your parents you will be having weekend lessons this weekend in the school hostel. Pack your things and we will meet at the motor park by 7 a.m. on Friday morning. Anyway, today is still Tuesday, so you have time to prepare. I will take care of your transport fare. Amarachi's heart raced with excitement. She couldn't believe it. She was going to Lagos. For the rest of the walk home, she couldn't stop smiling. In her mind, she was already imagining herself in her new clothes, walking confidently through the streets like a queen. But deep down, a tiny voice whispered, "Is this a good idea?" Amarachi quickly brushed the thought away. This was her chance to prove to everyone, especially herself, that she wasn't just a poor girl. She was going to make this Christmas unforgettable. Amarachi's house was small but neat, with a thatched roof and walls painted a dull cream. Inside, the smell of vegetable soup filled the air as her mother stirred the pot on their small kerosene stove. Amarachi sat on a low wooden stool, peeling cassava with shaky hands. Her thoughts were far away, racing with excitement about her secret trip to Lagos on Friday. She tried to act normal, but her mother's sharp eyes didn't miss much. Amarachi, Mama said, her voice firm. Why are you peeling that cassava as if your mind is somewhere else? What's wrong? Nothing, Mama, Amarachi said quickly, forcing a smile. I'm just tired from school. Mama narrowed her eyes but didn't push further. She returned to stirring the soup, the wooden spoon scraping the sides of the pot. After dinner, as they sat in the dimly lit living room, Amarachi decided to test the waters. Mama, Chisom was talking about her uncle in Lagos today. She began casually. Mama said, not looking up from the scarf she was mending. She said he's very rich and always gives her money and gifts for Christmas. Amarachi continued. Imagine, Mama, last year he gave her 50,000 naira just for shopping. Mama paused, her needle hovering in the air. She turned to face Amarachi. And why are you telling me this? I was just thinking, Amarachi hesitated, her voice dropping. Maybe it would be nice to meet someone like that, you know, someone who can help us. Mama frowned deeply. Amarachi, don't let envy cloud your judgment. People who give money so freely are not always what they seem. Lagos is full of deceitful people. You don't know what they do to get their wealth. But Mama, Amarachi argued. Chisom has gone there many times and nothing happened to her. She said her uncle is a good man. Mama sighed heavily. And you believe everything Chisom says? That girl's life is not your life, Amarachi. Be content with what you have. Christmas is not about fancy clothes or money. It's about family and God. Be patient in life. Your elder sister is learning hairdressing in Onitsha, and your elder brother is an apprentice for a trader in Aba. In time, things will be better. You have to be grateful that the church is paying for your school fees. Amarachi looked away, her heart sinking. She didn't want to argue, but she couldn't shake the desire to go. She had already made up her mind, and nothing her mother said would change it. Later on Thursday night, after Mama had gone to bed, Amarachi quietly packed a small bag. She put in her best dress, a pair of sandals, and the little money she had saved from helping her mother sell akara. As she lay down on her mat, staring at the ceiling, doubt crept into her mind. Her mother's words echoed, "Be content with what you have." But she pushed them aside, thinking of the mansion, the gifts, and the chance to finally shine like Chisom. I'll be fine, she whispered to herself. Mama doesn't understand. This is my chance to make my Christmas special. With that, she closed her eyes, her heart pounding with excitement and a touch of fear. The journey to Lagos was just a few hours away, and Amarachi was ready to risk everything for a dream she didn't fully understand. The tricycle called Keke rumbled to a stop in front of a towering gate painted in shiny black. Amarachi stared, her mouth slightly open. The gate was taller than any she had ever seen, with golden patterns shaped like crowns decorating the top. Guards in black uniforms stood beside it, holding long buttons and looking serious. This is it, Chisom said with a small smile as she stood up. Welcome to my uncle's house. Amarachi clutched her bag tightly as they stepped out of the tricycle. She craned her neck to look at the mansion behind the gate. Even from a distance, it looked like something out of a movie. White walls that gleamed in the sun, large windows with golden frames, and a fountain in the driveway. Your uncle lives here? Amarachi whispered, almost stumbling over her feet. Of course, Chisom replied, flipping her hair. Do you think I was lying? One of the guards opened the gate as Chisom led Amarachi inside. The air smelled of freshly cut grass and flowers, and the sound of water trickling from the fountain filled the space. Amarachi felt like she had stepped into another world. A tall man wearing a white agbada stepped out of the house, his shoes shining so brightly that they reflected the sunlight. His belly stretched the fabric of his clothes, and a gold chain glimmered around his neck. His smile was wide, but there was something about his eyes that made Amarachi feel small. "Chisom, my darling," the man said, spreading his arms wide. "Uncle Namde." Chisom ran to him and gave him a big hug. "And who is this?" Chifunand asked, turning to Amarachi with a curious look. "This is my friend Amarachi," Chisom said. "She wanted to see how we celebrate Christmas here." "Ah, welcome, my dear," Chifunand said, holding out his hand. Amarachi hesitated before shaking it, his grip firm and his smile even wider. "Thank you, sir," she murmured, falling out of place. Come inside, Chifunand gestured toward the massive door of the mansion. "You guests must be tired from the journey." As they stepped into the house, Amarachi's jaw nearly dropped. The floors were shiny like glass, and the ceiling was so high it seemed to touch the sky. A large chandelier hung in the middle, sparkling like a million tiny stars. The walls were lined with paintings in golden frames, and the furniture looked too fancy to even sit on. "Wow!" Amarachi whispered, unable to hide her amazement. Chifunand laughed. "Make yourself at home," he said, snapping his fingers. Two maids appeared, carrying trays with glasses of juice. "This is just the beginning. I want you to enjoy yourselves." "Thank you, Uncle," Chisom said, picking up a glass and sipping casually, as if she was used to such luxury. Amarachi hesitated before taking a glass. She felt shy and out of place, but didn't want to appear ungrateful. "Thank you, sir," she said softly. "Good girl," Chief Nnamdi said, patting her shoulder. "Now go and freshen up. Your rooms are ready. And don't worry, I have some gifts waiting for you." "Gifts?" Amarachi eyes lit up. "Yes, my dear," he said, a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. "Beautiful clothes, perfumes, and even some spending money. It's Christmas period after all." Amarachi felt a surge of excitement. She had never been treated like this before. Maybe Chisom was right. This was her chance to have the Christmas of her dreams. As she followed Chisom up the grand staircase, she couldn't stop smiling. But deep down, something about Chifunamde's smile lingered in her mind, like a shadow he couldn't quite see clearly. She shook it off. After all, why worry? Everything seemed perfect. Amarachi's jaw dropped as she stepped into the room prepared for her. It was larger than the entire living room of her family's house. The walls were painted a soft cream color, and the bed was massive, covered with fluffy white pillows and golden duvet. There was a dresser with a large mirror and several small bottles of perfume arranged neatly on it. A rack by the corner was filled with clothes, sparkling dresses in bright colors, all brand new. "Chisom, is this real?" Amarachi asked, her voice barely a whisper as she turned to look at her friend. Chisom flopped onto the bed with a satisfied sigh. "Of course, it's real. What were you expecting? My uncle doesn't joke with Christmas, so." Amarachi walked to the rack of dresses, running her fingers over the smooth fabric. "These are for me?" "Yes, so," Chisom replied casually. "And there's more where that came from. Just wait until we go downstairs for dinner. My uncle will give us some spending money too." Amarachi's eyes widened. She had never even dreamed of having clothes like this. "But why is he doing all this? He doesn't even know me." Chisom shrugged. "That's just how my uncle is, though. He likes to make people happy. Don't overthink it. Just enjoy." Amarachi nodded, but a small voice in her head whispered, "Things like this don't happen for free." She pushed the thought aside and picked a sparkling red dress from the rack. "Can I try this one?" "Of course," Chisom said, grinning. "You look stunning." Amarachi quickly changed into the dress, staring at herself in the mirror. For the first time, she felt like she belonged in a world of beauty and riches. The dress fit perfectly, hugging her figure and shimmering under the light. She twirled, giggling softly. "You look like a princess," Chisom said, clapping her hands. Amarachi smiled, but before she could reply, there was a knock on the door. A maid entered, bowing slightly. "Chifunam said dinner is ready," she announced. "Great, I'm starving," Chisom said, jumping up from the bed. She turned to Amarachi. "Come on, let's bathe and change into casuals. I brought miniskirts and tops for you too. You don't want to miss this." Amarachi followed her friend downstairs, dressed in miniskirt and provocative top, her heart fluttering with excitement and nervousness. The dining room was even more impressive than the bedroom. A long table was covered with silver plates filled with food, fried rice, chicken, plantains, jollof rice, and even dishes Amarachi didn't recognize. Chifunam sat at the head of the table, smiling as they entered. "Ah, my beautiful girls," he said, gesturing for them to sit. "Come and eat. You must be hungry after your journey." "Thank you, Uncle," Chisom said, sitting down confidently. Amarachi hesitated but sat down as well. She glanced at the food, her stomach rumbling. "Thank you, sir," she said softly. As they ate, Chief Nnamdi talked about his business and his trips abroad. Chisom laughed at his jokes, while Amarachi nodded politely, too shy to say much. After dinner, Chief Nnamdi clapped his hand and a maid brought out 2 envelopes. "Now for your Christmas spending money," he said, handing one to each girl. Amarachi's hands trembled as she opened the envelope. Her eyes widened when she saw the crisp naira notes inside. This is too much," she stammered. "Nonsense," Chief Nnamdi said with a laugh. "It's Christmas period. Enjoy yourselves." "Thank you, Uncle," Chisom said, hugging him. "Thank you, sir," Amarachi said, her voice shaky. "Good girls," Chief Nnamdi said, his smile widening. "Now rest well tonight. Tomorrow there's a party here. It will be grand, and I want both of you to look your best." Chisom grinned. "We'll be ready." Amarachi tried to smile, but as they went back upstairs, her excitement was mixed with unease. Something about Chief Nnamdi's generosity felt strange. Why was he doing all this? "Amarachi, why do you look so serious?" Chisom asked, snapping her fingers in front of her face. "I don't know," Amarachi admitted. "It just feels too good to be true." Chisom rolled her eyes. "You're overthinking. My uncle is just kind. That's all. Relax and enjoy. Tomorrow's party will be the best thing ever." Amarachi nodded slowly, but the unease in her heart refused to go away. The next morning, the mansion buzzed with activity. Maids swept the floors and polished the glass furniture until they sparkled. Cooks moved in and out of the kitchen, carrying trays of steaming food. Amarachi could hear the hum of a generator powering the air conditioners, making the house cool despite the heat outside. Chisom had dragged Amarachi to the large walk-in closet connected to their room, where they stood before rows of elegant dresses. Chisom held up a shimmery gold gown against herself, admiring her reflection in the mirror. "This one will make me look like a queen," she said with a grin. "What do you think?" "It's beautiful," Amarachi said, her voice distracted. She was holding a blue sequin dress, but couldn't focus. Something about Chief Nnamdi's plan for the party had been bothering her since dinner the night before. "Why do you look so dull?" Chisom asked, narrowing her eyes at Amarachi. "Are you still overthinking everything?" "I just don't understand though," Amarachi said, lowering the dress. "Why is your uncle throwing a big party and inviting us? What's the occasion?" Chisom shrugged, slipping into the gold gown. "It's Christmas period, Amarachi. Rich people like to celebrate. It's no big deal." Amarachi hesitated. "But don't you think it's strange? He doesn't even know me, yet he's treating me like family. And the way he keeps smiling, I don't know. Something doesn't feel right." Chisom sighed and turned to face her friend. "Amarachi, listen to me. You have lived your whole life in Owerri. You are not used to this kind of life, so everything seems strange to you. But trust me, this is normal. My uncle is just generous." Before Amarachi could respond, there was a knock on the door. A maid stepped in, bowing slightly. "Chief Nnamdi wants to see you both in the living room," she said. "Let's go," Chisom said, grabbing Amarachi's arms. The 2 guests followed the maid downstairs, where Chief Nnamdi was waiting in his usual spotless abode. He was seated on one of the grand sofas, a glass of wine in his hand and a wide smile on his face. "Ah, my beautiful girls," he said as they entered. "You look lovely already, and the party hasn't even started." "Thank you, Uncle," Chisom said, sitting down beside him. Amarachi sat more cautiously, her hands folded in her lap. "The party tonight will be very special," Chief Nnamdi began, his voice smooth. "Some important guests will be attending, and I want both of you to look your best. You must represent this family well." Amarachi blinked. "This family?" "Yes, my dear," Chief Nnamdi said, his eyes glinting. "You are here as Chisom's guest, which means you are part of my family now. You must behave accordingly." "Of course, Uncle," Chisom said, smiling. "We will make you proud." Amarachi forced a smile, but her unease grew. She couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to this party than Chief Nnamdi was letting on. "What kind of guests will be there?" Amarachi asked cautiously. "Influential people," Chief Nnamdi replied, taking a sip of his wine. "Businessmen, politicians, and friends of mine who appreciate the finer things of life." "The finer things?" Amarachi echoed, her voice barely above a whisper. "Yes, my dear," Chief Nnamdi said, his smile widening. "And they'll all be impressed by you too. But remember, tonight is not just about having fun, it's about making connection. You never know who might change your life." Chisom nodded eagerly, but Amarachi's stomach twisted. Something about the way he said, "change your life," made her skin crawl. "Now, go and prepare," Chief Nnamdi said, waving them off. "The party begins at 8 p.m. sharp. I want you both to shine like stars." As they walked back upstairs, Amarachi's steps were slow. She couldn't ignore the uneasy feeling growing inside her. "Amarachi, stop looking so scared," Chisom said, rolling her eyes. "It's just a party. We're acting like we are going to war." "I don't know, Chisom," Amarachi said softly. "Something doesn't feel right. I'm not sure I want to go." Chisom stopped and grabbed her friend's arm. Are you serious? Do you know how lucky you are to be here? People will kill for this opportunity, and you're talking about not going. Don't be ungrateful. Amarachi bit her lip, guilt mixing with her fear. Maybe Chisom was right. Maybe she was overthinking. But as she put on the blue sequin dress and got ready for the party, the unease in her chest refused to go away. It felt like a shadow, growing darker and heavier with every passing minute. The party was in full swing with loud music vibrating through the grand mansion. Amarachi stood awkwardly by the edge of the crowded room, watching as well-dressed men and women danced, laughed, and clinked their glasses of champagne. The lights were dim, with colorful beams flashing across the room, giving everything a shawty glow. She felt out of place in her blue sequin dress, which glittered under the lights. Chisom, however, looked completely at ease, laughing loudly as she mingled with the guests, her gold gown shining like the sun. "Relax, Amarachi," Chisom had told her earlier, grabbing her hand and pulling her into the main hall. "Tonight will be fun, just follow my lead." But now, standing alone, Amarachi couldn't shake the feeling that something was very wrong. Tifunan had been moving from guest to guest, smiling his usual wide smile, but the way his eyes lingered on her gave her chills. "Why is he looking at me like that?" Amarachi muttered to herself, clutching her small purse tightly. Amarachi, Chisom suddenly appeared beside her, holding a glass of what looked like fruit juice. "Why are you hiding here? Come and meet some of Uncle's friends." "I'm fine here," Amarachi said, forcing a weak smile. Chisom frowned. "You are acting so strange. Don't embarrass me, please. Uncle is trying to help you enjoy your life." Before Amarachi could reply, Chifunamda approached them, his smile as bright as ever. "Ah, my two stars of the evening," he said, his deep voice cutting through the music. "Are you having fun?" "Yes, Uncle," Chisom said quickly, flashing a wide grin. Amarachi nodded stiffly. "Yes, sir, thank you." "Good, good." Chifunam's eyes flickered to Amarachi, lingering for a moment too long. "Amarachi, there's someone I'd like you to meet. He's a very important man, and I think he will like you." Amarachi's heart skipped a bit. Meet someone?" "Yes," Chifunam said smoothly. "He's a good friend of mine. You will enjoy talking to him." I think I need some air," Amarachi stammered, taking a step back. "Nonsense," Chisom said, grabbing her arm. "Uncle knows what's best. Go and talk to the man. He might even give you a Christmas gift." Amarachi's unease grew. She felt trapped, but she didn't want to seem ungrateful. Okay," she said reluctantly, following Chifunan as he led her through the crowd. They passed through the main hall and into a quieter part of the mansion. The noise of the party faded, replaced by an eerie silence. Chifunan stopped in front of a door and knocked twice. "Come in," a deep voice said from inside. Chifunam opened the door and stepped outside, motioning for Amarachi to enter. He hesitated, her heart pounding in her chest. The room was dimly lit, with a single man sitting on a leather sofa. He was older, with a sharp face and cold eyes that seemed to pierce through her. "This is Amarachi," Chifunam said, his voice smooth. "She's one of the brightest stars in my home." The man's lips curled into a small smile. "Come closer, my dear," he said, his voice deep and unsettling. Amarachi froze, every instinct in her body screaming at her to run. I think I should go back to the party," she said, taking a step backward. Tifunam's smile faltered. "Don't be rude, Amarachi. This man is an important guest." "I'm sorry, sir," Amarachi said, her voice trembling. "I don't feel well." Before Tifunan could respond, she turned and hurried back down the hallway, her heart racing. She didn't stop until she reached the kitchen, where she leaned against the wall, trying to catch her breath. "What's going on?" she whispered to herself, her hands shaking. As she stood there, she overheard two of the maids whispering nearby. "Did you see the new girl?" one of them said. "Yes," the other replied. "She doesn't know what's coming now." Poor thing. Amarachi's blood turned cold. She pressed herself against the wall, listening. "Chief always breeds them like this," the first maid said. "Young, innocent and clueless. It's the same every year. They won't find out until it's too late," the second maid said, her voice dripping with pity. Amarachi felt like the ground was spinning beneath her. She didn't need to hear more to know that she was in danger. Every kind smile, every generous gift, it had all been a trap. Her hands clenched into fists. "I have to get out of here," she whispered, her voice trembling. "Before it's too late." Amarachi's heart pounded as she hurried through the hallways of the mansion, her bare feet barely making a sound against the cold tiles. The loud music from the party still echoed faintly behind her, but further she moved away from it, the darker and quieter the house became. She glanced over her shoulder, half expecting to see Chief Inam or one of his guards following her. The thought sent shivers down her spine, and she quickened her pace. "Amarachi!" Her name being called made her freeze. She turned to see Chisom standing at the end of the hallway, frowning. "Where are you going?" "Uncle said you should meet the guests," Chisom said, walking towards her. I can't, Amarachi said, her voice trembling. Something is wrong here, Chisom. I overheard the maids talking. They said, Chisom rolled her eyes. You overreacting again. What did they say? That uncle is bad? Don't mind them, they don't know anything. You're just letting your fear ruin everything. No, Chisom, listen to me. Amarachi grabbed her friend's arm. This is not normal. They say Chief bring girls like this every year. Something bad is happening here. Chisom sighed heavily, pulling her arm away. Amarachi, you are making a big mistake. Uncle has given us everything. Money, clothes, a chance to enjoy life. And now you want to throw it all away because of some gossip? This is my first Christmas party here, so don't spoil the fun. It's not gossip, Chisom, Amarachi said, her voice rising. Can't you see that none of this is free? Why do you think he's so generous? It's a trap. Chisom face hardened. If you're so ungrateful, then leave. But don't come crying to me when you realize you have ruined your life. She spun on her heel and walked away, her gold dress shimmering as she disappeared down the hallway. Amarachi felt tears sting her eyes, but there was no time to cry. She had to find a way out before it was too late. She turned and kept hurrying, searching for an exit. The house was a maze of hallways and locked doors. She tried to stay calm, but her panic grew with every passing second. Finally, she spotted a glass door leading to the garden. This must be lit outside, she whispered, her hands shaking as she pushed the door open. The cool night air hit her face as she stepped into the garden. It was vast and beautifully lit, with fountains and neatly trimmed hedges. But Amarachi wasn't interested in the beauty. She scanned the area looking for a way to the gate. There she is! The voice made her freeze. She turned to see two of Chief Nnamdi's guards running towards her. They were big and muscular, their footsteps heavy on the stone path. Amarachi's heart raced. She turned and ran, her dress snagging on bushes as she darted through the garden. Help! She screamed, but her voice was drowned out by the sound of the fountains. She stumbled but quickly got up, pushing herself forward. She spotted the high walls of the compound in the distance. There was a small gate at the far end, and it was her only hope. Stop her! One of the guards shouted. Amarachi didn't look back. She sprinted toward the gate, her legs burning with effort. As she reached it, she saw a gardener standing nearby, holding a bunch of keys. Please open the gate, she begged, tears streaming down her face. The gardener hesitated, his eyes darting to the approaching guards. If they catch me, I will lose my job, he whispered. Please, Amarachi cried. They will do something terrible to me. You have to help. The desperation in her voice seemed to move him. He fumbled with the keys and unlocked the gate just as the guards closed in. Hurry, the gardener urged, pushing the gate open. Amarachi slipped through and ran out into the dark street. The guards stopped at the gate, shouting angrily. Get back here, one of them bellowed, but they didn't follow her. Amarachi didn't stop running. Her feet ached and her lungs burned, but she kept going, the streetlights guiding her way. Tears blurred her vision as she whispered to herself, I need to get home, I need to get home. After what felt like forever, she spotted a busy road with cars zooming past. She waved frantically at a passing keke. Please, I need help, she cried as the driver pulled over. The man looked at her, concerned. What happened? Are you okay? Just take me to the nearest park, Amarachi begged. I need to leave this place. The driver nodded and motioned her to get in. As the keke sped off, Amarachi leaned back, her body trembling. She had escaped, but the horror of what could have happened stayed with her. For the first time, she realized how close she had come to losing everything. The sun was rising as Amarachi arrived back in Owerri. The streets were quiet, the air cool and still. Her dress was torn, her feet dusty from running, and her eyes swelling from crying. She barely noticed the curious glances from the keke driver or the street vendors setting up their stores. All she could think about was getting home. The door swung open and Mama's expression shifted from annoyance to shock. Amarachi, what happened to you? Where have you been? Amarachi's lips trembled and tears spilled down her cheeks. Mama? Before she could say more, Mama pulled her into a tight hug, her voice trembling. My child, I have been so worried. I prayed all night for your safety. Where did you go? What happened? Amarachi sank into the embrace, her words tumbling out between sobs. Mama, I made a mistake. I followed Chisom to Lagos. Her uncle, he's not what he seems. They wanted to use me for something terrible, but I escaped. Mama pulled back, her hands gripping Amarachi's shoulders as she searched her daughter's face. You went to Lagos without telling me? Amarachi, do you know how dangerous that was? I warned you about trusting people. I know, Mama, Amarachi said, wiping her tears. I was so foolish. I thought if I had money and fine clothes, I'd be happy. All of it was a lie. I almost lost my life. Mama sighed deeply, her anger giving way to relief. Thank God you are safe. That's all that matters now. Come inside. Amarachi followed her mother into the small sitting room, collapsing onto the worn sofa. Mama sat beside her, her face etched with concern. Tell me everything, Mama said gently. Amarachi recounted events of the past few days, the lavish mansion, the gifts, the unsettling party, and her narrow escape. Mama listened quietly, her hands clasped tightly in her lap. When Amarachi finished, Mama shook her head. My daughter, wealth is not always a blessing. Sometimes it's a trap. You see now what greed and envy can do. They almost cost you your life. I see it now, Mama, Amarachi said, her voice thick with regret. I was so jealous of my friends. I didn't appreciate what I had. I'm sorry, Mama. I will never make this mistake again. Mama took Amarachi's hands in hers. It's good that you've learned this lesson, but it pains me that you had to learn it the hard way. From now on, focus on what truly matters. Your family, your safety, and your future. Amarachi nodded. I will, Mama, I promise. Later that day, as the house began to fill with the warm aroma of jollof rice and fried chicken, Amarachi helped Mama in the kitchen. For the first time in days, she felt a sense of peace. As they walked, Mama said, you know, Christmas isn't about wearing the finest clothes or having the most money. It's about being with the people who love you and appreciating the blessings God has given you. Amarachi smiled softly. I understand now, Mama, and I'm grateful for what we have. That evening, as they sat together for Christmas dinner, Amarachi looked around the small, cozy room. It wasn't grand like Chief Nnamdi's mansion, but it was filled with love and warmth. And for the first time in her life, she realized it was enough. She took Mama's hand and said, thank you for everything you have done for us since Papa died. Mama, I don't need anything else. I'm just happy to be home. Mama smiled and squeezed her hand. That's all I ever wanted to hear, my child. And as the Christmas lights flickered softly in the background, Amarachi made a solemn vow to never again let greed or envy cloud her heart. She had learned her lesson, and she will never forget it.